What's up guys, TC here and welcome back to Starbound Nightly. And it has been a long week, and of course the one week that I would go away is the week they would add a ton of really cool stuff. So we are going to jump right into it. The first major update from last week is they added a bunch of new weapons. They updated a lot of the weapons. So if you watched the last episode, I was talking about how all the numbers were all over the place and they behaved kind of weird. So this last week they've been kind of brushing these things up. And so I'm actually going to cover all those really quick. We have quite a few to look at, so let's jump in. First up, we actually have the energy pickaxe, which I showed last week, and it's changed a little bit in form and function. So now when you hold it, left click, it'll pop on. And essentially, it does use energy. It is faster than the matter manipulator, and I've got a little example here. So here's the fully upgraded matter manipulator, and this is the matter manipulator does mine a larger area. So you're going to see here, this is me mining full speed with the matter manipulator on obsidian. Right, so it's not exactly that fast, and this thing, it's not super fast, but it is faster than the matter manipulator. Only by a little bit, but it's not bad. It's actually pretty cool. It's really good for like for mining like ore and stuff, just because when you pull it on, it actually glows. So it's really cool, and of course it can mine background items too. But anyways, we're gonna move on from there. We have an update to the Magna Orb, which is again my favorite weapon in the game currently. And as you can see, it shoots these little magnet orb things, and I was wondering if it was going to get a secondary ability, because it is a two-handed weapon, and of course, they actually came through, and it does have a secondary. It's a shield, and unlike most shields, it's a directional shield. So most like swords might have that normal block, but this one can actually be blocked in any direction, which is really cool. It's kind of unique in that it only functions if all of the orbs are back with you. So if I shoot one, I actually can't do it until it gets back. Just like that. So if I shoot all of them, I can't do anything until it gets back to me, and then I can block. But yeah, very, very powerful. Just makes this this really already awesome item even more awesome. So I'm excited about it. We have the Soul Seeker here, which I think got a slight adjustment in its crazy high damage. It's still one-handed. Nothing really particular happened to that. The next one here we got is called the Evil Eye, and this thing is really strange. It is it's a backer item, and it's like some kind of living assault rifle that shoots eyeballs. So see here, it shoots little burst rounds of these bouncing eyeballs, and it's got a really, really odd secondary. It's called Evil Eye, and essentially whenever you hold down right click, it auto targets something. It goes really fast. I'm gonna do it over here so you guys can see it. Whenever you hold down right click, it's got these little scanning lasers, right? And what it's doing is it's finding the nearest target to you, and it can be anywhere, like all the way across the screen, anywhere those lasers are touching. And when it finds one, it automatically stuns them. So you'll see that Punchy over here is actually going to get stunned really briefly, right there. And essentially it just locks them in place. They can't move or anything. Pretty powerful. It doesn't last very long, but yeah, pretty cool. Up next we have the Electric Railgun, which has actually been renamed Tesla's Wrath. And so this one's, it's cool. It's kind of like it reminds you of like a more powerful sniper rifle really, but shoots these powerful electric bursts, which you'll see here. And it also has a secondary, it's that targeted marked shot, which allows you to target multiple enemies. So let's see, I'm kind of upset he's in the corner now. I think I can move him. I don't think I can move him, damn. Maybe I can get this to come back in and knock him. Well, he's stuck in that wall for now. Up next we have the, it's called the Time Pierce, which I showed you last week, and you guys pointed out, I thought it was something to do with Roman numerals, but it's actually a really, really interesting weapon. And so when I say it was on Roman numerals, I make these videos and I just kind of make them on the fly, and I didn't think about it. And someone pointed out in the comments that it's actually a clock hand, which makes perfect sense. It's called the Time Pierce. It's got these like little numerals, whatever, that pop up, everything to do with the clock. And its secondary is actually really cool. And if you pay close attention, he actually does a full 360 like a clock hand. And when he hits, it actually applies a very, very special status effect right there. And you'll see he's actually got these weird effects popping off, and it's called Time Slow, and what it does is it reduces your mobility by 70%, which is huge. Now the issue here is it only hits directly in front. I know it spins in a full 360, but it only hits directly in front. So it's right here is where the damage is done. So yeah, it's actually kind of hard to land it, but when you do land it, it's very, very powerful. Up next we have the Astro Saber Deluxe, which you kind of hold it a little bit weird, and it's got this pretty cool little sound effect when you swing it. It's got these little particles that kind of float off. And it's got a secondary ability of when you swing it, it kind of pretends like it breaks the game. So it actually cuts a hole in the game like that. And anything that comes into contact with this little tear here actually takes a lot of damage. So we're going to hop over here to Punchy. There you go. So you see he takes a ton of damage, and that's kind of cool because you can actually have several, and you can like block off areas of the game temporarily so that no one can pass through them. Up next we have the Firestorm's Fury. And this one's actually really cool for a sword. So it's a fire sword. It's got black on one side, white on the other, and its right-click ability is actually a flamethrower, which is actually kind of like the spears you have, but this one doesn't push you back. So it's very, very powerful. Definitely a really cool one. These next two here are, I'm not sure what's going on with their sprite. They're really strange. They have the same sprite. One of them's a one-handed, one of them's two-handed. It's definitely placeholders, so don't get used to the image. But this is some kind of experimental thing they're working on. The first one here is called a gristle gun, and this one is a one-handed pistol, and it shoots these little bouncy shots. You'll see they actually bounce around. Nothing too special about these, but what's weird is this one here. It's called the worm gun. And this one here is like, I can't quite explain what this thing is doing. It's shooting out tentacles, really, or something like that. And yeah, so it shoots out these very, very long tentacles, and it's got a right-click control tentacles, which that one's even faster, and you can actually guide where they go. Like these crazy hands reach out and grab stuff. So yeah, you can actually kind of steer it around. Very, very interesting. I want to see what their final sprite is going to look like on that. Let's get all of these items out of our hotbar, and I'm going to show you another feature that's pretty cool that we just got. If you look at our chest here, we have some more items, and we actually have a new button on our chest now called Take All. So all you do is you click it, and of course you're going to take every item in the chest, which this is really useful because we have so many items in Starbound. It's really easy to kind of get caught up in all of it, and you don't want to have to go through each chest every single time. But I do have a few more weapons in here I want to pop out and show you guys. There was a slight change to the Liu Kang's energy whip, and it's all very minor. Basically, the right click now has a much more fantastic looking special attack. So it shoots that little energy. Maybe I can bounce him out of there. Bounce. Okay, whatever. Up next, we have the Ex Machina, which got a big upgrade in the, I guess, aesthetics department. It's got a freaking laser on it now, which you can target stuff. So yeah, it's got this long-range laser. Oh, there we go. We finally got out. And then it's got the secondary was changed a little bit, where it's not quite as slow, so you can't guide it like you could. If you remember the last episode, we can kind of get it to go in circles, and you'll notice now it actually doesn't do that anymore. Moving on from that, we have one of the coolest weapons. I'm actually surprised they went with this. It's so cool. So it's called the adaptable crossbow. And if you look right now, in the very center of this gun, you'll see a little bitty brown mark, right? And this is the default version, right? So it just shoots crossbows. It's on the slightly lower than average damage, but it's got a really great ability. It's called adaptable ammo. So every time you right-click, he cocks it. Now it's got fire. So you see it's got these fire particles popping off. And so now whenever you shoot it, it's got this one is an explosive arrow, right? So it's got these explosive arrows it shoots. Cock it again, and now it's got this blue puff of ice. So now it shoots little frozen arrows that freeze targets, right? Cock it again, and now it's got a little electrical particles popping off, and you'll see here. So basically, this is a gun that has all the elements. Cock it one more time, and now see it's dripping poison down here. So this is actually really, really powerful. Basically, it allows you, it doesn't matter if your enemy resists your attacks or not, you can just switch the element up. And then obviously, one more click will bring it back to the default, which has no element to it. So moving on from that, we have something called the tentacle gun. And this thing is, it's really, really funny. I don't know what's going on with it. It's called tentacle gun. It behaves like that worm gun thing. And I can't help but think this is like a bunch of tentacle dicks shooting out. I'm sure they're going to texture it a little bit differently. It's one-handed, so you can actually have two. It currently lets you shoot up to 4 tentacle dicks out at once, and then it comes back. It doesn't do much damage, so that's why I'm pretty sure it's going to be changed. But yeah, very, very weird gun. I'm loving all this stuff with these weird projectiles on it. But yeah, so up next we also have some of the backer hats we got in. So some interesting ones. Actually, I really like a lot of them. So here we have the horned tricorn. I don't quite know what a tricorn is, but it's pretty cool. We have a Stargazer hood. Very interesting. This is my favorite here. This is actually one of my favorites in the game now. It's called a Soulgeist helmet. Put it on. It's got these 3 eyes and this little plumage on top. Here we have the rusty metal skull, which as you'll see is just it's a rusty metal skull. Multicam operator cap. It's lame. We got an afro, which I love. And then we got a Valkyrie helmet here, which is it's all right. It looks a lot like one of the Avian's early armors. We have the uncat hat, which is actually a cat, but he's facing backwards on your head. So yeah, interesting. And then we have a variant to the Fire Lord helmet called the Arena's Champion helmet, which I'm going to get to that later, which looks really cool. It's got plumage on the top, and I'm loving that. And another thing they've kind of added in that's it's not really going to affect everybody, but essentially we've got this new thing now. If you look at this food, this is pizza. It's a food you craft, and if you look below it, it says still relatively fresh. And so what's happening is now all the food you create has a kind of like a built-in little timer on it, and essentially if you don't eat the food after a while, it rots. Now it has a pretty good timer on it, so it'll last quite a while. So this pizza will last for some time. But again, the foods don't stack now, so you can't just carry a buttload of food, and the foods will eventually rot, so you really got to manage your food when you're going adventuring. And you can place these things in fridges to prevent them rotting, so that's actually really good. It's just you have to have a lot of fridges if you're going to have a lot of food. But I think from a survival aspect, it makes a lot of sense. This next little bit, actually, I'll bring it up really briefly while we go up to our ship. They have started the they've started the optimization. So a lot of you, like, the current nightly is really buggy, but I have seen some like increases in FPS. They've started doing optimizations. I think it was on Thursday or Friday last week. I had to look at some of the updates, and essentially they said they were starting to add in some optimization. Said people should start seeing some improvements. So that's really great. One of the biggest things that's changed is the way the planets are organized, and this is something we've been wanting for a long time. It's essentially everyone was complaining that planets weren't diverse enough, right? So what they've done is they've essentially made it so that nearly any planet can have, not every possible biome, but we're going to hop over here and I'm going to show you guys. And also something else that's kind of changed, you might have noticed it already. Planets now, like, you won't find just a moon. Like, see, this is you can't land here, but this has a moon. It used to be the outer planet in each system was a moon, but now it's moons orbit planets like they should. This is how moons are in real life. So I actually really like this. So in just a second here, I'm actually going to go find a planet, and I'm going to bring you guys back, and I'm going to show you how diverse these biomes are. Okay, guys, so I have beamed down on a jungle planet, and as you're going to see, I've actually beamed down into a mushroom biome, but I'm also next to a forest. And so what I wanted to show you is just how crazy diverse some of these planets are now. It's almost nothing like what it used to be. So I'm going to run around this planet. I'm going to pull you guys back whenever I run into a new biome. All right, so just 1 second here. Okay, and again, this is the exact same planet, and here we actually have this is actually a lunar biome, like a moon biome, and I'll say, like, this is actually an experimental thing they're working on. I think they're still kind of honing which biomes can appear on which planets, but this just gives you an idea of how diverse these biomes can be. So we actually have a moon surface here, so this is actually moon rock, but I'm going to keep running and see what else we can find. Okay, and I want to bring you guys back. You're actually transitioned from that moon biome into a volcanic biome on the same jungle planet, and here we have that volcanic biome actually transitioning into a geode biome. So yeah, it's crazy now. These biomes can be extremely diverse, and I think there's still going to be a little bit of tweaking going on, like which biomes can appear where, because sometimes it's a little bit strange. But yeah, I'm loving it. Like, the planets feel so much more unique now, and it's a very, very welcome change. So this last little bit I'm going to show you guys is actually a brand new thing that's going on in the game. It's something to do with the story mode. I'm not quite sure how it's going to play in, but we have arenas now, so I'm going to take you guys to a couple of the arenas just really quick here. And so what it is, these arenas are essentially things you're going to get in the outpost, and I think there's 3 so far, and each one of these arenas is a kind of like a quest you have to go through. You have to beat whatever guy there is in here, and basically in combat, and you win a reward for it. So you go over here. This guy's going to tell us there's 3 gladiators, each fights differently, so I remember this one. This one's actually pretty cool. So this one isn't just a one-on-one fight. So you go up through here into this little arena, and you pop into the actual arena itself, and you'll see there's actually 3 guys here in gold armor, and they all fight differently. So this is just one of the arena challenges. There's at least 2 more. So you see here we have like a heavy sword guy, we have kind of like a faster guy with a smaller sword, then we have a guy with a gun over here that kind of stays back and shoots at you at range. But yeah, so these are... I'm going to try to demolish these guys really quick. And you can see they actually have different armor on. Like, they actually have different levels of health. So like this guy is a kind of tanky, so he's actually taking more damage than others. And you'll see I actually picked up it's called a bruiser sword, and I think this is the quest item that we're going to get. Here it is. It's called the bruiser sword, and it's got the super spin slash ability. It's a very generic looking sword, but I think this is what we're going to, that's going to be like the quest item you have to get. So yeah. That's going to wrap up today's episode, guys. I know it's a lot of stuff, but I'm going to try to keep up. It's going to be another busy week for me, but I think I'll get another episode out. One thing I wanted to try to do is we're getting closer to release now, and so what I wanted to do was you should start seeing an increase of tip videos and invention videos. I've been hesitant to put any tips and invention videos out recently with how much the game is changing, but a lot of the things have been kind of have been set in stone now. So I feel more comfortable making tips and tricks videos. So you should start seeing more of those soon. So anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed it. Please rate, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later.